If you've ever wondered if you're in the lower, middle, or upper class, you might be surprised on how much or how little you actually need. Having spent over a decade in the financial industry, today I'm revealing the net worth, the income, and the characteristics of the lower, the middle, and upper class, and tips on how you can move to the next class. With discipline and good financial habits, anyone can accumulate wealth. If you watch my channel, you know I'm a firm believer in this. I know that anyone can achieve millionaire status. In fact, if you stay to the end, I'll show you exactly how to do it the easy way. So let's start with the bottom 20%. The median net worth in this class is $8,270. Unfortunately, that puts you in the poverty class. Now, if you're in this category, it doesn't mean you're going to stay in this category. Because if you're watching this video, it means you're got a millionaire mindset and you're taking the necessary steps, taking the future into your own hands, and are going to do what it takes to get out of it into the next level. So $8,270 net worth doesn't actually mean you have $8,000 in your checking account. Net worth is actually a calculation of your total assets minus your total liabilities. So everything you own minus everything you owe. So for example, if you have $5,000 in your checking account and you have a home that's worth $400,000, and let's say you have $20,000 in a retirement account, that puts your total assets at $425,000. Now, let's say you have liabilities in the form of a mortgage at $350,000. And on top of that, you have credit card debt at $25,000. So now your total liabilities is $375,000. So your total net worth in this case would be $425,000 in assets, $375,000 in liabilities, putting your total net worth at $50,000. Net worth is actually a great indicator of wealth because while you can have a great income, if you go and spend all of it, you don't really have anything to show for it. So net worth accounts for spending habits and financial discipline. It's the reason why someone with lesser income can actually amass a fortune that's bigger than someone with greater income, with better spending habits and just financial discipline, which I show you on this video. The average income in this category is $26,000, less than the poverty line, which the census has set at $31,000. This group of people typically work multiple minimum wage jobs, such as fast food workers or retail clerks. This group of people includes people that just turned 18, so they haven't had time to make a lot of money yet, but they're still bucketed in this group. Expenses like rent, food, transportation take up a lot of the budget for people in this group, so it's really hard for them to actually save. What makes things worse are the unexpected expenses, which oftentimes force this group to turn to high interest debt like credit cards and payday loans. The most important thing to do now, if you're in this class, is review your finances and cut your unnecessary expenses. Find opportunities to save, even if it's just $50, $75 a week. This is going to add up, especially over time. Focus on building 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund. Put that money into a high yield savings account before you do anything else. Emergencies will happen. And the last thing that you want to do is cut in to your net worth by going out and getting high interest debt. The next 20%, from the 20th to the 40th percentile, their median net worth is $54,850. This is what's called the lower middle class. The average annual income for somebody in this group is $45,320. And that is going to come in lower than the U.S. median income of $71,450. Lower middle class is typically made up of blue-collar workers and new immigrants that are just got here and still trying to find their way in this new country. These individuals haven't had enough time to accumulate wealth yet, but their stable jobs allow them to continuously save a little bit each month. Moving to the next class requires a little bit of effort because although you're out of the financial zone, you're still susceptible to other kinds of problems. Those in the lower middle class have buddies in the middle class and they see how they live. So for some folks in the lower middle class, there's added pressure on them to look like they make that kind of money. This is only made worse because the lower middle class actually wants to distinguish themselves away from the lower middle class. So they end up buying nicer and nicer things. And this need to keep up with the Joneses actually pushes the lower middle class into deeper and deeper debt, buying things that they don't need to impress people that they don't care about. Other than avoiding lifestyle inflation, focus on increasing your income. Income levels a lot of times are related to education levels. Although there are cases where dropouts go on to become multimillionaires, for the most part, studies show that income levels for a college graduate is 30 times those of someone without a high school diploma. The key here is by increasing your income, reducing your expenses, you'll be able to get the one thing that empowers people to get to the next level, which I'll tell you in the next section. Moving on to the next class, from the 40th percentile to the 60th. This is what we call the middle class. The median net worth in this class is $131,410. The median income of someone in this group is $71,450 per year. Most individuals in this class have more education under their belt. Typically, this group is a mix of specialized blue-collar workers such as electricians, plumbers, or they're in the beginning stages of white-collar jobs with good benefits. Naturally, with more disposable income, this group dabbles into investments as part of their strategy. A lot of people that get to this $100,000 level are into their late 30s and early 40s. If you happen to be someone that's younger and is making a really good income of over $70,000 a year, and you're wondering, how come I haven't got to 100,000 net worth yet? Don't worry, you just haven't had enough time in the game. We've seen that oftentimes it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you can invest. If you're smart with your money, you're still able to amass quite a fortune on a middle class income. Moving on to the upper middle class. The median net worth in this group is $278,640. This net worth will put you in the top 40% of households in all of America. The median income in this group is $125,000 per year. This class is defined by white-collar professionals or people that specialize in their fields, such as architects and engineers. Taxes are a big factor that prevents some people from moving up. This class focuses on reducing theirs because although their income is higher, a huge salary equals a huge tax bracket. You can easily save thousands of dollars by taking advantage of tax advantage accounts like IRAs and 401ks. Although the upper middle class earns a good amount of their money from their job, this isn't the only source of income from them. A lot of times they focus on their passive income. After consistently contributing to their retirement accounts, their stock portfolios, and real estate, upper middle class individuals benefit from compound interest and the returns on their investments to supplement their regular income. Even though they're in the upper middle class, they're not all financially free. In fact, more than half of all Americans making $100,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck, which goes to show you just because you make a higher income doesn't always necessarily mean you know how to manage that money. And finally, if you're in the top 20% of net worth in the US, the median net worth here is $690,300. The median income in this class is $246,500 per year. A large share of people in the upper class live on the East Coast, where there's a lot of financial and tech around, as well as the West Coast and tech areas. People in this group mostly have all their wants and needs covered. They're mostly focused on passive income, their retirement, and also education for their kids. The biggest difference between the upper class and the middle class is the amount of business owners. Nearly half of all the households in the top 10% of net worth in the US are business owners, which means owning a business can have good returns. However, if you're not a business owner and don't plan to be, I have good news. Most people can actually break into the upper class with just good financial habits and investing. Today, we're going to take QQQ for an example. It's an index fund that anyone can invest in. It's had an annual return on average for the past 30 years of 10%. So if you take just $150 a month at the age of 20 and start investing it all the way to 65 years of age, you'll have $1.3 million. That's crazy, right? $1.3 million after investing only 80,000 of your own. That shows you the power of compound interest. Even if you're a little behind the 8-ball, let's say you're 40 years old today, you haven't invested anything. Start now. Put $1,000 a month into that index fund. Do that for 25 years. At the end of that, you'll have 1.2 million. All that with just investing a fraction of that. That is not even including the equity in your home and the equity in all the other assets that you're going to accumulate in your life. I hope this video shed some light on the different classes of wealth. If you found value in this video today, feel free to smash that like button and subscribe if you're new, and check out the 5 money habits that potentially, unknowingly, you could be doing that are holding you back from rapid financial growth. See you on the next one.